Match reaction, Manchester United 0, Tottenham 3. Your reaction to that game?
Nothing hurts me more than watching a Manchester United team go out at Old Trafford, 2 games on the run with no desire. Absolutely clueless. There's no belief. There's no nothing. Ten Hag, before the game, demanded 100% from him and from all the players. That first half just summed it up. Absolutely clueless, abysmal, and my heart is breaking here.
The players, the manager, would you say both sets are clueless?
All clueless. When you demand 100% after that heartless performance, really, on Wednesday night, and then you see that's got to go down as one of the worst performances at Old Trafford for a long, long time. These players in that dressing room, I'm telling you, you thought it was a thunderstorm outside. There is thunder going on in that dressing room. People have got to look at themselves and say, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, they've recently come out and backed Eric Ten Hag, Omar Barada, the suits behind the scenes. Do you get that feeling, though, that we're getting to a point where Ratcliffe's got to hold his nerve if Ten Hag's to keep his job here?
Well, the question is, will Ratcliffe hold his nerve? The clock's ticking, simple as that. We've spoke in pre-matches and after-match when we've seen the game. It's all about will he hold his nerve. These players had 3 games. We did say 4. It went down to 3. There's 2 games left as far as we're concerned. I don't see how Eric Ten Hag can get this team playing football at the moment. He has to work a miracle. And for me, he's got 2 games. I cannot see performances like this from a manager and these players lasting till Christmas.
Is that the problem as well when you're looking at this squad, his starting 11, that the majority of these players are actually his buys since he's walked through the door here and he can't get them playing football?
I think it's very hard to get this team playing football. There's many reasons why. Players there just don't care. There's players being introduced, these young players. I think it's very difficult. But the thing is, it's not difficult to get yourself up for a game at Old Trafford against the Tottenham side. They were open, they were wide open, always have been wide open, Spurs. And United just sat back, clueless, running around, jogging, static. It was just Spurs in that first half run rings round Manchester United. And let me tell you something, okay? The only good thing what came out of that was the scoreline.
Listen, I've seen Spurs come here, beat us, was it 6-1 a few years ago, but there's a few people I've spoken to already, and we're in agreement that Spurs come here today full of confidence, and I've never seen a Spurs team come here and dominate the way they did.
Teams come to Old Trafford, there's no fear at all, and that fear is clearly relayed when you hear Manchester United players telling the world that the other team wanted it more than Manchester United. That tells you what's going on here at Old Trafford, okay? Eric Ten Hag is struggling to get these players up, okay? These players, really, they're at Old Trafford. They're playing for Manchester United, the badge, and they're not getting themselves up, and there's quite a few. But let me tell you this, okay? Ten Hag has to take a lot of criticism. Bruno Fernandes has been playing absolute rubbish. All his stats tell you that. He should never have been on the pitch on Wednesday night. He shouldn't have been on the pitch today. You've seen his performance. Marcus Rashford jogging around, half-hearted. That's just 2 players I'm picking out. I could pick them all out. That first half performance, I watched them looking at each other. Delo, clueless, nowhere. Mazraoui wasn't that better, okay? And then you had De Ligt. Everyone's been shouting about De Ligt. But today, for some reason, every player in that back 4 just was nowhere to be seen. The midfield, Manu was giving it away. They were all giving it away. How can that be?
Did Bruno Fernandes deserve to be sent off, though, in your opinion?
Certainly not. Certainly not. That was a tackle. He stretched, slipped, and just wanted to bring him down. Wasn't a vicious tackle. It was just like one of them tackles just to stop the player. That's all it was. So that was bad refereeing. But the thing is, if you look at the game, they actually played better with 10 men. But that was because Spurs, as soon as they scored the second goal, sat off and just let United have the ball. And United, yeah, they were unlucky. But it was a Spurs side what let United start to play football with 10 men. And then just every now and again stepped up, took it to United and should have scored a bag full of goals. Onana pulled off a few good saves. So I'll give him. He's got credit in the bank today. But I can't see any other player where I can say, you did the business today.
You're looking at it now. We lost 3 league games and been beat by Tottenham here today. We can't play Southampton and Barnsley every week. So if we're getting beat by the likes of Spurs at home, Brighton, Liverpool, etc., under the manager, I can't see where he's going to turn it round. So where would we possibly be come the end of the season?
Exactly where we are now, if we're lucky, playing like that. And that's me using my eyes, like everyone else. It's just getting worse, absolutely worse. So how do you expect to be up there, challenging, going for the top 4 spot? It's not going to happen playing like that. And listen, the fans came out into a storm early. They preferred to leave the ground and come out and walk into a storm. So they know, they were in there today, and they voted with defeat by coming out because they knew what they were watching. They preferred to get absolutely soaking wet than sit there and watch that embarrassment, because that's what it was.
Since Fergie, though, we've had a few managers now, including Erik ten Hag, and we've always felt, me and you anyway, we've always said like 2-3 games before managers have been sacked, it feels like the end. But do you get that feeling here right now?
Yeah, that feeling. I get that feeling because I just look at the players and I look at the last 2 games. There's no desire here. There is no desire. And it's down to the manager, down to the coaches and everyone behind the scenes to get these players up. And you would have thought after Wednesday night, they would have got the players up. They started clueless. There was no passion. There was nothing there. They played as though they didn't even know each other. These are highly paid, top international footballers, because that's what they are.
That's where the buck stops, though, surely, with the manager. I get the same feeling watching that today, that the players were clueless and it's like they'd not played with each other before. And how can that be when they're training together day in, day out on the training pitch?
There's no desire anywhere. That's what it is. There's no desire. Erik ten Hag's words, everything Erik ten Hag says right before the game, the hollow words. The players aren't listening. The players aren't interested. And we have seen year after year after year with different managers how these players throw the manager under the bus. But I've got to be honest here. The manager is throwing himself under the bus, because that lineup, that starting lineup, and leaving players on the pitch when they're clearly not playing for the club or not doing it, they're out of form, and he's picking them. That, to me, is down on the manager. No one's listening. You can clearly see that.
The thing is, like I'm saying there, they clearly, today going off in isolation, clueless, didn't know where each of the other players were. Players like shouting at each other because they're not showing for each other. Again, what are they doing in training, day in, day out? This buck stops with the manager, surely.
They can look nice in training, but when the work needs to be done out there, it's not there. The players didn't speak to each other, and I go on about the first half. They did not talk to each other. Players were getting caught on the ball because they were too slow. There was no speed from United. I look at that first half and I say to myself, who was sprinting? Who was going for it? Who was really interested? Nobody. And you can do all the work, all the talking you want, but when you step over that white line and you perform like that, there has to be people looking at each other and a lot of soul searching, and that includes the manager. And when I look at Ratcliffe, Ineos, and all the people what have brought in, they will sit there and they will look at that. They will definitely 100% look at that. Yes, they might give him the next few games. That's how I see it. I want to see the next 2 games with ten Hag in charge to see if he can turn it round, to see if he can get anything out of these players. But the fact remains here. The next 2 games, if he doesn't get a reaction from these players, then it's over. Not just for ten Hag, for players as well. And we are in for one torrid season. And the future does not look bright at this moment. Stood here, and for anyone who was inside that ground, and I have to commend that crowd, because on 60 minutes, they were defiant. They stood up, they sang, and they backed, and they wanted Man United to succeed. And I give him full credit for that. You don't often see that. That is the only positive, that and Onana's performance, which was decent.
Yeah, I'll end it there. I'm sure a lot of you want to get involved in the comment section below. So support the channel by smashing that like button, and I'll be back up later on with Webby with another match reaction. See you all soon. Thank you.